Welcome back. August 1st is Election Day here in Volunteer State. We talk with Tennessee's Secretary of State Trey Hargett about how our absentee ballot process compares to other states.
Well, frankly, in Tennessee, people prefer to vote in person. We have robust early voting that allows you to vote during about a 2-week window prior to Election Day, as well as most counties are open 12 hours on Election Day. And to tell you how small of a problem absentee balloting is really only about 2.5% of the people vote absentee. So Tennesseans have overwhelmingly shown their preference for in-person voting, and early voting certainly makes that as easy as possible.
What's it like to see how often people are taking advantage of early voting, and kind of how much has that grown in your experience in recent years here in Tennessee?
Well, it certainly has grown. And during a typical election, we see well over half the voters decide to go and cast their vote early. So, it changed a little bit during the pandemic. A lot of people wanted to wait till Election Day to go and vote. We've seen a little trend back toward that. But as an election administrator, you like to spread that work out. And it certainly makes it easier when you're spreading out all those voters over a 2-week period instead of just a 1-day, 12-hour period.
Something that's been top of mind for a lot of voters and people in general since the 2020 election season, especially, is election security. Talk with us about how you all go about making sure that the election system and the process is a secure one here in Tennessee.
Well, there's a lot of things I would mention. Of course, Tennessee has been ranked #1 election integrity for 3 years in a row by the Heritage Foundation. But election security is not something you do just once or twice a year. It's nonstop, and working with our state and federal security partners, making sure that the voter rolls are accurate, making sure that we have verified paper audit trails and audits, throughout the state. And one of the things I would make sure that people understand is the election machines they're voting on are not connected to the internet. They're not connected to some server in downtown Nashville. They're not connected to some server, in some foreign country somewhere, or Washington, D.C. They're not connected to the internet. I think that's important for people to know. And the results that they see on election night on our website, they're still not certified. They're unofficial until the certification process that occurs across the state in all 95 counties in a bipartisan way. And frankly, bipartisan election administration is the real key to election security. Democrats keep an eye on Republicans, and Republicans keep an eye on Democrats.
My last question is, what's your advice for voters as they're heading to the polls on August 1st? Anything that you think they typically don't know about or unsure of? What do you think you want to make sure that they know before they head to the polls on August 1st?
I would tell people, be an educated consumer with their vote. Be a prepared voter. Know what's going to be on your ballot. It's never been easier to find that information. We have a Go Vote TN app that people can download in the Google Play or in the Apple Store, as well as online, and they can see their unique ballot. They can see what's going to be on their ballot, know who they're going to go and vote for. So it's not the first time they've seen the names of those candidates whenever they go to the polls. Take a photo ID with you. It needs to be a state or federally issued ID. Doesn't even have to be a current ID, just has to be valid. So if you've got an old driver's license, passport, what have you, you can take that with you. And I also encourage you, if you can be flexible, normally the busy times are right when the polls open at 7 in the morning, sometimes during lunch and right after work at 5 o'clock. If you can be a little more flexible, going mid-morning or mid-afternoon, you'll certainly encounter the least number of voters at that point as well.
Remember, polling times could vary depending on your county for Thursday's election. Go to WKRN.com for a link to voting information here in Tennessee.